Padlet Power. Boost creativity and organization with AI. In this session, we're going to start off by talking about Padlet basics. So what is this tool? What does it look like? How does it function and how it can be used? Then we're going to go into some of the new AI features that Padlet is continuing to add to this product. So we'll look at how we can leverage those tools to be a little bit more creative or more efficient with our workflow in terms of using Padlet. And then finally, we'll discuss some strategies that you can use to distribute your Padlet. And one really cool way is to embed it right in your D2L Brightspace course. Our goal is to explore Padlet's AI features to create and manage collaborative spaces, enhancing creativity and organization. We're hoping that this will help you to see just another tool that you can use to engage your students in a different way. The resources that I share with you today can be accessed via this little Padlet Lunch and Learn resource hub. If you select any of the boxes, it'll take you to the content page. I'm going to place a link to the hub in the description box. So before we jump fully in, we'll do a very brief overview of Padlet. Padlet is a digital tool that lets you create interactive boards where you can post and organize text, images, links, and even multimedia. It's useful for collaboration because it allows multiple users to contribute to the same board simultaneously. So you could pull this right up during your class session and have students posting things and you're interacting with them as well as their classmates right while you're teaching the class. And then there's a new tool called a Padlet Sandbox, which is very similar. It's a collaborative digital canvas with tools for drawing, writing, and adding media. Padlet Sandbox is a tool that some educators are using as an alternative to Jamboard because Jamboard is being discontinued. Padlet Accounts. With a free Padlet account, you can create up to 3 boards, upload files up to 20 megabytes, and include video recordings that are up to 2 minutes and audio recordings that are up to 5 minutes long. No credit card is needed to start, which makes it really easy to try out Padlet. If you need more features, more boards, or more storage, you might consider a paid plan and should discuss this with your department chair, as Delaware Tech doesn't currently have an institutional license. You can discuss paid options with your department chair, and then they'll go through the process of vetting it through leadership to find the most efficient way to obtain licenses. The Padlet subscriptions page is the second link in our Padlet Lunch and Learn resource hub that's linked in the description box. This will give you more specific information about the different levels of accounts and the features of each. Before we go any further, let's talk a little bit about the accessibility and some limitations of Padlet. Padlet is working hard to become more accessible, and it's aiming for WCAG 2.1 level AA compliance. They already support screen readers and basic keyboard navigation, but they're still improving things like color contrast and keyboard access for settings. Recent updates have made things better with screen readers, using dark mode, and keyboard shortcuts, so they're continuing to fix any major issues. You can get more information about these guidelines as we go through our Lunch and Learn series. We're going to be exploring more tech tools with a focus on accessibility and compliance to ensure an inclusive teaching environment for our students. Padlet is compatible with screen readers like Apple VoiceOver, which allows posts to be read aloud and new posts to be created using shortcuts, though they're working on improving content navigation. Padlet allows keyboard navigation for logging in and managing the dashboard, but is still working on full keyboard compatibility for settings, post editing, and post expansion. So there's still a lot of work to be done in that area. And then Padlet doesn't currently offer low vision color contrast, but they are working on it. So in the meantime, users can use a browser extension like high contrast to improve the visibility on the boards. If you're wanting to use a discussion for a more high stakes assignment that is graded, you may want to think about some alternatives. A discussion board in D2L Brightspace could be a better option than Padlet for something that's high stakes or graded, or if you're already aware of specific learning needs of your students, because D2L offers more robust accessibility features. Since Padlet is still improving its accessibility, D2L ensures better compliance with tools like screen readers, keyboard navigation, and contrast settings, making it a more reliable choice for equitable learning experiences. But Padlet still has its place for enhancing the learning in more of a low-stakes type of learning activity that you're doing with your students. If you want to learn more about the accessibility of Padlet, the Padlet Accessibility Statement is linked in our Padlet Mini Resource Hub. Now let's explore a real live Padlet, and I don't want you to worry, you are not going to break anything. Just roll up your sleeves, dig in, and let's try to explore some of these features. Okay, so here I am on the Padlet homepage, padlet.com. It says boards and sandboxes for delightful collaboration. It is a free tool. Remember, I said there are some limitations, so we're just going to play around with some of the free tools for today. If you don't have an account already, you'll select sign up, and then you can sign in with Google, Microsoft, or Apple, or even just sign up with your email address. I did it with Google. That way I could attach this to my Delaware Tech Google account, because as you can see later on, you can actually pull things in from your Google Drive right into Padlet for their boards or the sandboxes. I'm going to go ahead and get myself logged in, and then we'll pick up from there. If you're an active Padlet user, you'll come right into your Padlets page where it shows your recent Padlets. And like I mentioned before, generally you can have up to 3 live and active Padlets at one time. You don't have to delete the ones you're not using, you just archive them and then you can reinstate them, but you can only have 3 at a time. So I like to use Padlet for my IDT G16 Advanced Assessment course. And what I like about it is that it's a really quick way where the participants can sort of get to know each other a little bit through this board, especially because it's an asynchronous course. So this gives a nice way to add images, video, audio in a more fun type of presentation. But what I absolutely love is that it's not static. So I can embed that Padlet board anywhere in my class. So anytime we have a discussion board, I always put the Padlet board in there just as a reminder of who the classmates are in that course. That way we really get our bang for our buck from that introductory post. People can continuously come back to it and add comments to it. So at the end of this video, I'll show you how to embed your Padlets in D2L. So now I'm going to walk you through the process that you can use to create something similar. So I'll just show you how to make an introductory discussion board like I did in my G16 course, but of course you can always make the prompt whatever you would like it to be. So I'll start by selecting Make at the bottom in the center. The first thing that comes up is the blank sandbox, and this is more of like a collaborative space for us, a synchronous session. It could be done asynchronously, but I think we want to use this Padlet board to make it a little bit more structured for what we're trying to do here. So you can use the wall, canvas, timeline, grid, stream, or map. We'll go into that a little bit more as we actually start making our board. I do want to try out these AI recipes. Maybe they can help us to come up with a way to make our discussion board a little bit more enhanced for our students. So I'm going to go ahead and just click discussion board. So here we have generate discussion ideas with AI, choose a topic and grade, and we'll suggest discussions that you can have in your classroom. So I'm going to say icebreaker discussion to help students get to know each other. And then I'm selecting higher ed, and then I'll click generate. And then here's what it came up with. There's 4 different options. Sharing unique skills and their impact on personal growth, exploring historical interests and conversation topics, debating the impact of social media on relationships, and then discussing the balance between practical and theoretical education. I think I'm just going to go with the first one. It seems pretty simplistic. Sharing unique skills and their impact on personal growth. I'll go ahead and select that. Here's the discussion prompt. What is the most interesting or unusual skill you've acquired, and how has it impacted your life? I love that. So then the discussion type could be a question and response or a debate. We're going to do the question and response. So it is a question to your students and everyone can add their response. So then I'll go ahead and select next. It wants me to add the first post, and it's also giving me options of different samples that I could use. I'm going to write my own just because I want the students to also get to know me and know that it's kind of a safe space for them to post. So I'm going to pause this and I'll go ahead and generate my post and then I'll come back on. So I went ahead and typed in my response. It's all about how I used to make and sell cakes on the side and how this taught me a lot about patience, attention to detail, and creativity, which I really use every day as a teacher and also as an instructional designer. So now I'm going to go ahead and publish it, and you can see my post is right here. Now that I'm done with the AI discussion board, post here, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And then let's look at the settings just to make sure everything is set up properly before we pose this to our students. So with the cog at the top, I'll go ahead and select that, and that brings me to the settings. You can see that you can have your title, your description, you can change the icon that's there. I like that chat bubble. I think that looks really nice, but you can pick anything from below. You can change the wallpaper. I also like the one that they already picked, but you can just have a flat color. You can use gradients, textures, and patterns. You can change those as many times as you would like. You can also upload your own or even do art and illustrations, which gives you, more artistic type of feel. You can make it a dark theme or a light theme. You can change the font, the post size, so make them wider or more standard. And then the format, before when you made a Padlet, once you picked a format, that was it. You could not change it. But now you can change them, which is really nice. So you could make it a grid, the wall, a timeline. So it really just depends on, what the question is that you're asking. You can sort by the date published or how many likes it got, and I'll show you that in a minute. You can drag and drop them around if you want to reorganize them. So that would be really good for some of the concept mapping and things like that. You can do it randomly, so there's a lot of different options there. So now it's set so that viewers can comment on posts, which is what I want because I want the viewers or the people to interact with one another. You can also add reactions, but you can control it. So either there could be none, likes, upvote or downvote, stars where you give it a 1 to 5 rating, or you can even use a score where you're grading it. I'm going to keep it at likes because I like to keep it really positive. I don't want anybody downvoting, something that someone says on this board. And then there's where you can have the author and timestamp. So whoever posts to that forum, it'll have their name on it and when they posted. So you can see like my name's there and 7 minutes ago. Your students don't have to have an account to interact with a Padlet. So that's another nice feature about it. And then you can see content moderation. So if you're worried that someone might post something inappropriate, you can turn on moderation where every time there is a post, you have to either approve it or you can kick it back to them. And then remakes is nice too if you work on a team and other instructors want to also use the same discussion question that you're using. They could do the remake feature and it just wipes out the posts that are on the board, but they can keep kind of the guts that are there. So the question, the background, and your settings. And then you could even change the URL to make it how you want it to be. So that's walking you through all of these different items. That's in settings. So next we're going to want to share this, and that's this arrow at the bottom. So for collaborators, I'm going to allow everybody to be a writer. You could do no access where people can only read it, where they can only comment but they can't post. I want everybody to be able to write new posts and also comment on them. Link privacy, I like to keep this secret. So only people with the link or if it's embedded in D2L can get to this discussion. I don't want just random people searching for a Padlet and being able to find it. But you can also password protect it. You can make it a login or you can make it absolutely public. You can add a collaborator. So if you have a co-teacher, you can put them in here. Here's how you're going to actually get this out to your students. So you can copy a link to it. You can do breakout links where you have different sections of the Padlet and then you're sort of giving out links to those different sections. You can do a submission request link. So this is where anyone with a link can post to the Padlet without actually seeing the Padlet. So that's if you don't want them to see the other posts before they post. And then this auto remake link is anybody who clicks on that link, it'll force a copy of it. So it'll make a duplicate of that Padlet. So that would be if you're sharing this with other instructors and you want them to make their own. You can also share it using a slideshow, get a QR code, embed, or share using different apps. I'm going to show you how to embed it. So I'll go ahead and click here. And then we have embed the Padlet, embed preview, embed slideshow. I'm just going to embed the Padlet. That way my students can post right on it in the D2L board. So I'll go here where it says copy Padlet embed code and select that one. Now I'm going into my D2L course shell. I have a little staging module set up here, but you could do this in your actual live course. Then I'm going to go ahead and click Create New. I'll do an HTML document. And this way I have more features that I can use. I'll give it a title, Icebreaker for Special Skills and Talents. Okay, then I'm going to select the template. You can use any template. I'm just going to do the basic page. So I'll go to Public Files, HTML Templates V5, Content Templates, Basic Page, and then I'll click Add. So here I have my basic page. Remember from Padlet, I went ahead and copied the embed code. I'll do it again just in case. And then I'll go back. I'm going to put my cursor where I want to embed it. So I'm going to put it right here. And then I'll go up to the Insert Stuff feature. I'll scroll down until I see Enter Embed Code. And then I'll go ahead and paste that embed code from Padlet into the box here. Then I'm going to select Next. Here's a preview. And then I'll go ahead and select Insert. Now look at that. It's right on the page. One thing we do suggest is just in case someone's on a device and they're having trouble accessing the embedded Padlet, add a direct link to it. So I'm going to change this to paragraph. Direct link. Icebreaker Padlet. And then I'm going to go back to my Padlet and I want to get the link. So if I scroll back up, let's see, here's links. And then I'll just do copy link to clipboard. Okay, it already copied it. And then I'll highlight the text that I want to link. Go up to the chain for the link, insert quick link. Scroll down to link. And then go ahead and paste it up at the top and select insert. All right, I'm going to make it visible and then click Save and Close. And then look at that, my Padlet is right on the page in D2L. You can actually post right there while you're inside. So here I could just post it and then click Publish. How sweet is that? It's right there on the page, making it a lot easier. All right, next, let's go ahead and take a look at the new Sandbox feature. Now, I haven't seen a limitation on the number of sandboxes that you can make. They're not limiting it like the 3 Padlets, but I don't know if that's something that's going to come in the future. So for now, I'm just going to stick with having the 3 for our purposes. All right, so you can see it looks pretty similar. There are a lot of awesome tools that you can use. So here you can do a drawing. You can pick the different color that you want to use. Oops, I tried to do a little heart there. You can add text. You can do sticky notes. Add shapes, so you can draw whatever shape you have here. I'm going to do that arrow, move it around. Yes, that's what we want. You could upload a document or a file from your own files. And then here you can do 17 more features. So you could go ahead and add your Padlet to it. Let's see what else we have here. Oops. with the 17. You could link to your Google Drive, upload something. You can have it draw something for you. Draw a cat with a pencil. Let's see what it does there. And then look at all of these adorable AI generated images it gave me. So I'm going to go ahead and post one on there. Lots of things. I really like this poll feature. So you could ask a question. What is the best kind of cat? Is it a tabby? What are the other kinds? Domestic short hair? I'm not a cat expert, but you could add, whatever options you wanted there, and it puts the poll right on the page for your participants to use. You could add a GIF, your location, do a web search, add Spotify. So pretty much like posting on a Padlet, you can do the Sandbox the same way, but it does allow you to move things around. You can have multiple pages. So here you can add another, what they call a card, which is like a page. So if you were doing breakout rooms, you could have each group on a different card that's here. So just a really fun tool with lots of different possibilities. So here I am back on the make page, and I just want you to take some time, play around, see what's available here for you. There are so many pre-generated items that you could use. The AI tools help to give you lots of different ideas. Let's click on this one really quick. It'll just make you a Padlet. There's lots of stuff already done for you. So don't be afraid. You're not going to break anything. Click around, play around, and see if there's any way that you can really enhance the interactive portion of your lesson or your course, and also streamline your workflow a little bit more. Are you looking for some more inspiration and ideas for how you can actually use Padlet? Well, check out this article from the site, Ditch That Textbook, for 20 creative ways that you can use Padlet in your classroom, from collaborative note-taking to interactive storytelling, with the new features like AI integration and a template gallery. You'll find plenty of fresh ideas to boost engagement and streamline your teaching. You can find that link in the Lunch and Learn Resources Hub on the bottom. To recap, today we covered the basics of Padlet, we explored its new AI features, and saw how they can be applied in your classroom. As you continue to explore Padlet, remember that the more you use these tools, the more you'll discover new ways to enhance your workflow and creativity. Thanks for watching.